Australia. Sorry, I think my voice is going now as well. Too much shouting. I wanted to say a few words because obviously we need to face the truth now. We are actually, this has happened so quickly, hasn't it? We are in the final stages of fascism. That's how quickly. This hasn't happened in 2 years. Those of you that have been watching, this has been developing for decades. We've been moving to a global tyranny for decades. So I'm sorry, it's not a satanic spell. We haven't been put under a spell. This is brainwashing and conditioning over decades and decades in most countries. It hasn't happened in a vacuum. We're reaching the final stages and we need to wake up. And I'm going to speak the truth here to the movement. You're all amazing. Piers is absolutely right. You're turning out here today. There should be more, but it's amazing that you're here. But we need to face up to this, because what I'm seeing around the country in our movement, and I'm really worried, is a movement that's developing that wants to hide away. That wants to hide away in what they think can be alternative, parallel societies. I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you something now. We can't do that. They will come for us wherever we are, whether it's in the fields, whether it's in caravans, whether you try to hide away in the trees. Let's wake up. We can't run from this. We have to face it, and there's only one way we face it, is we, as Piers said, we have to take back our institutions and our buildings and our societies. That's the only way we're going to do it, and it's going to have to get, I'm not endorsing violence, I'm not encouraging it, but we're going to have to get a lot more assertive to face this beast of fascism. Because they don't do democracy and they don't do diplomacy. They will not listen to us. So we need to rise up. Every single one of us here, we're going to have to face doing uncomfortable things. You're going to have to say uncomfortable things to people, whether it's at work, whether it's in your families, whether it's here in the streets. Keep speaking up. Keep turning up every day. Do something. Push yourself to do something, as Jonathan's been talking about. Push yourself to do something that's uncomfortable, because it gets easier, doesn't it, Jonathan?
And it feels wonderful.
And we're surrounded by amazing people. We will all hold you up and stand with you together. But there's a final thing I want to talk about, is what's going to happen to us quite shortly, and we need to be prepared. They are planning to pass legislation to class us and define us in law as domestic terrorists. If we want to continue campaigning and being activists in this movement, we've got to move the narrative on in terms of how we campaign. And we need to start talking about the Great Reset a lot more. Because out there in society, what they're seeing is the fact they can't get a hospital appointment. They can't see their doctor. They can't get a job. They can't get a house. They can't afford the rent. Homelessness everywhere. This is because of the Great Reset. All this we're talking about, it's really about the Great Reset. So let's get clever. Let's get smart. Let's start changing the language. Let's start changing the narrative. Let's start talking about this in the context of the Great Reset. Because if we continue using the language that they have politicised and weaponised against us, we are all going to end up in prison. I'm being serious, Hal. And when we're in prison, we are useless. We need to be out here on the streets. So I'm asking you, get smart. What I'm doing in my corner of the country in the southwest is on Saturday I'm going to be in Swindon, and we're doing a Great Reset information hub in the town centre. We're going to try something different to see how we can talk to the public, because we can't go on being them and us. Without them, those out there that have been jabbed, we can't win this. So let's get smart, let's stand together, let's not have any hatred between us and the rest of society, because this is what they want. This is what the fascists want. They want us to hate each other. We don't hate each other, we love people, that's why we're here. We love people. And we love freedom, and we're not going to stop. So let's get smart in the name of humanity and love, and let's continue. Thank you.